for joining. This is the first session after the vacation after Christmas. So I hope everything is fine with you and also you had a good start of the new year. This session of today is focused on skills intelligence. We will face this very interesting and crucial topic for us with CEDEFOP and with the representative of the EXCEED team. Hello, welcome. So the first session we will be carried out by two representatives of CEDEFOP. Sorry, please keep your microphone off. And for any need for assistance, questions, etc., feel free to use the chat. My colleague Irina and myself will support you anytime during the whole session of this morning. We will have a 3-hour session, more or less. And as I was saying, the main topic will be skills intelligence and trends in the advanced manufacturing sector and subsectors, because you know the EXCEED project is focused on advanced manufacturing, eco-digital innovation in the advanced manufacturing in Europe, with a specific focus on some subsector, for example, mechanics and mechatronics, automotive, nautical sector and shipping, etc. So depending on the regional economies involved in the very large partnership we have. So the session will be recorded, as you know, and as done for the previous ones. And on the page of the website of our project, you will find later on any supporting presentation, our keynote speakers we will use today. So the first session is managed by two representatives of CEDEFOP, specifically Miss Stellina Chattikristou and Katerina Zafilku. Sorry for my pronunciation. I'm really sorry if, let's say, it was not very much correct. I hope at least acceptable. But in any case, welcome to both of you, and thank you very much for your availability and your interest in our project. We are looking forward to hearing from you and to following this session. Please, to all the participants, again, take your microphone off, use the chat. And since we will have an interactive session with our speakers through Slido, keep your phone very close to you because we will have to assess a poll in order to, let's say, facilitate our interaction, our discussion on these skills intelligence topic. So, Stellina, I think you will be the first to start. So please, the floor is yours. Thank you very much once again.
Good morning from me as well. I'm Stellina Chattikristou. As Elena very kindly introduced us, I am an expert in CEDEFOP, which is the EU agency, EU Center for the Development of Vocational Training. We are located in Thessaloniki, Greece, and we are very glad for this invitation. It gives us the opportunity to share with you some insights from our work, but we also see this contribution as an opportunity for us to understand more about the needs of VET people relevant to a very important sector for innovation and the twin transition, such as advanced manufacturing. I will now share my presentation. The aim of the session will be to, as I said, provide you with a brief introduction. We very much welcome your questions. When I'm presenting, I cannot see the chat, but afterwards we will have a Q&A session. Our intervention will be in two parts. The one will be with an introduction, then Katerina Zafilku will provide you with specific data and insights from our work regarding employment and skill trends for advanced manufacturing. There will be a Q&A session to clarify any questions you may have, and then we will also get some information about you, about the use of skills intelligence in your work through Slido. Then the second part will be about navigating our skills intelligence tool, which we hope that you find interesting and relevant to your work. And then we will ask you to have a sort of exercise to identify some elements in the tool, because again, you know, Elena highlighted the importance of structuring this as to the extent possible as a training, and we will then ask you a couple of questions of, you know, what you thought of the tool and how we can improve, because again, it's an opportunity for us to learn from you. So for those of you that don't know us, Cedefop works primarily on understanding skills, employment and qualification trends in EU member states, and supports the European Commission and member states and other European stakeholders identify the most efficient and effective vocational education and training policies in order to support the relevant policy activities and, in the end, the economies and the societies. This I highlighted already about what will be about. So what is skills intelligence? What we do in Cedefop is that we use an array of different methods, quantitative and qualitative, in order to understand what are the trends, what are the expectations, the developments in employment and skills in the different countries, member states, sectors and occupations. It allows us not only to identify numbers, if one may say, but actually to see the more holistic story. The complexity of the current environment, economically, socially, geopolitically, is such that no unique source can. It would be great if microphones were switched off. Thank you. It's not possible for only one point of data type of information to give us with a more holistic aspect. With skills intelligence, the policymakers and other stakeholders taking relevant decisions can also support the mitigation of skill shortages, can support learners in making the right career choices, can better inform vocational education and training, VET curricula and pedagogies. So what we have in our array of tools, we use a skills forecast. Cedefop has been running a skills forecast for some decades now, and it's based on an econometric model that can predict, based on historical data as models work, trends in countries, sectors and occupations. We run also sectoral skill foresights, which means for specific sectors with experts, we have discussed the future scenarios. We have our online job advertisements analysis, which is extremely useful because it highlights the skills that employers demand in the labor market. And of course, we get other type of information from qualitative research, surveys, and some networks with stakeholders. Very briefly to highlight what this information tells us about the future. So one of the main trends we see from the most recent skills forecast results is that the jobs are becoming more skills intensive. So there will be a significant increase of the jobs that require high qualifications, and when we discuss skills, it's a level of qualifications. And this doesn't mean, of course, that the other jobs will not be important. Medium level qualifications that are very much linked to that will continue to have a dominant role. But as you can see, job openings for low qualifications will decrease. With our tools, especially with the forecast, we are also able to run specific scenarios about megatrends. We have already run one about the implementation of the European Green Deal, which is the growth strategy of the EU since 2019, and also for the digital transition. In the PowerPoint that you will receive, there will be links, and as already, and maybe even more, for you to address, to read and maybe address some questions you may have. For digitalization, needless to say that we get it from all types of research, the increased importance of such skills across jobs. Not all jobs require high-level digital skills, but even for the basic ones, there is still room for improvement and training. And there is, of course, where VET can play a very significant role. For the green transition, we have a dedicated line of work. We see through our research that it can provide with a significant number of jobs in other areas, specifically regions, and I understand that you represent mostly regions. The green transition can pose challenges. So again, VET is one of the key policies, one of the actions that can support people in making the transition to occupations that have more sustainability. I'm going through this quite quickly because it's not a focus, but we provide all links for you to delve into that. Just for you to understand what we do through our research, you can also see which are some key occupations. So there are job-specific green technology specialists, again, digital skills, but also those that support the transition of workers and citizens. Again, vets and again, curricula, even in, let's say, technical occupations like an advanced manufacturing, is important to be enriched with some values and attitudes about how to include the green transition. And then we also are allowed through our research and data to identify important skills, groups of skills relevant. This is for the green transition, but we also have it for other megatrends, where you can see again that there is now an array of types of skills requested, ranging from very technical, job-specific to communication, but also to softer ones. What leads us now, and here I conclude, is about the role of vets. Depending on the country, there may be needs to recalibrate the systems, advance the curricula. But what is important to keep in mind, especially for vet people like you, is that there is a dual role that we see for vet. The one is that it can support the transition of people right now, because there are already shortages, there are already workers that need to be supported and upskilled immediately. And at the same time, because the green transition is not just some quantitative targets to reach, we need, but this is also for digitalization, we need vet policies and stakeholders to work together and design a more long-term perspective about what we would like to teach our learners and our workers in the future, what infrastructure is necessary, how vet teachers can be supported, and also regarding career guidance. So I also welcome you to check the key points identified by CEDEFOP for our European Year of Skills, last year's focus of the European Commission, where you see that VET penetrates all aspects of the policy spectrum. It is important to make VET more flexible and definitely inclusive, and keep in mind that without VET, we cannot make the twin transition. We cannot reap the benefits of innovation in a more sustainable future. Thank you. This is from me for now. Now to Katerina.
Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone from me. Stelina, we don't have a slide though at this point.
Sorry?
We don't have a slide or questionnaire at this point. It's after my presentation.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay, I thought it was now.
You can go on, Katerina, please. The floor is yours.
Yes,
thank you very much.
Yes. Okay, thank you. So let me share my screen. Okay, here we are. So I am Katerina Zafilkou. I work at CEDEFOP as an expert in the Skills Intelligence and Foresight team. And in this session, I will present you some CEDEFOP Skills Intelligence insights on advanced manufacturing sectors and occupations. I also have to say I'm very happy to be here with you. I really hope that this will be useful to you. And I will show you in the next part, as Stelina mentioned, also the tools that we use, and you can get familiarized in a more hands-on session later. Now, what we'll see in particular is an excerpt of current and future trends in employment and skills in advanced manufacturing sectors and occupations, and also an overview about the evolution of high-tech occupations, of course, in the context of digitalization. All the findings that we present in this short presentation are based on CEDEFOP's online tools and datasets. Stelina gave a generic overview earlier in her presentation, and here you can see the main tools that we use, and we will provide you with links and more details to navigate later. Now, let's see some trends on employment in advanced manufacturing sector. Employment in manufacturing is about 15% of the total employment share. Here, I have to clarify that in our online systems, when we say manufacturing, we mention the broad sector. And manufacturing is a very broad sector, encompasses different activities, production techniques. And CEDEFOP Online Tools uses a classification system that no need to go into technical details right now, that allows us to distinguish particular subsectors. So based on this classification, we can distinguish 4 sectors that we can say are most relevant to the advanced manufacturing, and they seem to compose like 1/3 of the whole of the broader manufacturing sectors. You cannot see all the details of these sectors and their activities here, but they are all included. So let me briefly mention this. It's the manufacture of computer, electronic, and optical products, manufacture of electrical equipment, of machinery and equipment, and of motor vehicles, trailers, and semi-trailers. We'll also use the term automotive industry. However, I have to clarify that this sector regards mostly the direct manufacturing and not the whole supply chain of the automotive industry. Okay, the wholesale trade, for instance, is not included in the data of this sector. Now, based on the most recent data, most employees in advanced manufacturing are employed in machinery and equipment and in the automotive industry, which makes about 1/3 of the advanced manufacturing. About future employment trends, our forecast estimate that overall here is the screenshot, okay. Overall, we expect an employment growth in all advanced manufacturing sectors at the EU level, and the greatest growth we expect it to happen in the computer, electronic, and optical products. However, projections estimate that there will be also losses, a significant amount of job losses in manual mainly occupations that happen frequently to be in manufacturing. In the slides, we will provide you also with some links. For instance, here you can navigate country-specific information, because here we only provide you with the EU average. Something that I have to clarify is that there are restrictions in the interpretation of this data. One should be very cautious when they interpret it in the context, in the particular context of their country. Now, let's move on and have an overview about the gender inclusiveness in the field. We have some data about the female share in employment in advanced manufacturing sector. As we see currently, women are very low represented in the advanced manufacturing. Possibly you have female students in your courses, in your field, so it's very important to motivate them to participate in the sector, and there is always the need for effective strategies to promote gender diversity. However, the future projections seem to be positive for women, and the European Green Deal seems to be more opportunities for women in the advanced manufacturing. And in the graph here, I show this to you because you can see a small increment in the women participation up to 2035 in the advanced manufacturing sector. Something very important, I believe, is to see the skill trends in the advanced manufacturing and the manufacturing sector. Now, based on online job advertisements on the skill survey tool, we have collected the most requested skills in the broad sector of manufacturing. So these are the skills that employers request in their job posts in the field, in the sector of manufacturing. The impact of digitalization is clear. What we expect is that many skills, some skills will elevate in the field, some others will be obsolete. So the most popular one is a digital one, a digital skill, and it's accessing and analyzing digital data. Underneath, we can see some job-specific skills, and there is an increasing demand for transversal skills, which includes communication, collaboration, and cognitive skills. The most popular one is the demonstration of the employees, of the candidates' willingness to learn new technologies or new content for their jobs, and also the ability to collaborate in teams. And we have to say that this kind of transversal and interpersonal activities, skills, render people more capable to do intellectual tasks and not to be easily replaced by machines due to the automation that we expect in the future according to the projections. Here we see some results based on a research ran by CEDEFOP. Most advanced manufacturing, now we are in the particular sectors in advanced manufacturing, most advanced manufacturing workers need literacy and numeracy skills to do their job. The majority needs basic skills, but we observe that about half of them, they even need a more proficient level of literacy and numeracy skills. Manual skills continue to be important in the sectors, although we see a decrease in other sectors, and about 1/3 of workers in advanced manufacturing still perform manual tasks. Problem solving is highly demanding in the area, and this includes the ability to search for information online or in documents, to learn from others, to take initiatives and to try out new ideas and improve ways of doing their work. Finally, a very significant share of workers carries out interpersonal tasks. The most popular interpersonal social skill is teamwork and the ability to advise or counsel other people. Other important interpersonal tasks included in the survey and noted by the advanced manufacturing workers include teaching or training others, giving presentations, caring for others, and dealing with outsiders like clients or people outside the organization. We have to be aware that skill demands seem to vary considerably across countries and occupations. So again, we need to very carefully examine the country-level information that we might have for the sectors. Regarding the demand in digital skills, what we see now and we also expect to see in the future is that employers ask for higher level of digital skills across almost all sectors and occupations, even in occupations that they didn't need digital skills in the past. Here you can have an overview of specific examples of the digital skills requested by employers. We see that the most popular one is the use of internet and text writing and editing. However, you should also consider the digital skill of coding, programming, and using AI methods that might be important to be included in some particular VET programs, for instance, in the curricula. Overall, the data from the online job advertisements, the latest round for 2024, indicates that computer literacy and Microsoft Office are the top digital skills in the sector. Something very interesting is that the CEDEFOP research found that advanced manufacturing workers perceive themselves as they really need to be upskilled in digital skills. So this is very important to consider and foster and develop initiatives of lifelong learning, promote micro-credentials in order to give efficient opportunities to these people in the sector to fill their digital gaps in the field. Another important trend that we observe in the area of advanced manufacturing, always at the EU level, is an increased use of computerized machines in the main job. And this might include sensors, 3D printing, additive manufacturing, virtual or augmented reality, and most commonly, handheld digital devices. We see a growing demand also for efficient appliances and equipment for renewable technologies in the context of the green transition as well. Although there is a low share of workers in the whole EU population that they use today robots and operate 3D printers, they seem to concentrate in the area of manufacturing, and this implies that employees in the sector must have fundamental understanding of IT and advanced manufacturing technology. So these were trends about the advanced manufacturing broad selected sectors. And now, based on the skills intelligence tools and indicators, we can identify the top occupations in the sector. And when we say top occupation, we mean the most popular ones, where we have the highest shares of employment. So most people in manufacturing, in the broad sector of manufacturing, seem to be employed as metal and machinery workers, machine and plant operators, and science and engineering technicians. And indeed, these three occupations seem to be very important for the green and digital transition, and we expect to see changes in their occupational profiles. About future trends now in the employment share, our data suggests that we expect a decrease in metal and machinery workers throughout across the Europe countries. However, despite the decrease, we also notice in parallel a significant amount of new job openings that is projected to occur by 2035 because of the aging of the population and the replacement demand. The most common reason is retirement. I have examples of some countries here that we will notice these job openings, but you can search all this information by country in the skills forecast and skills intelligence tools. About science and engineering workers and plant and machine operators, we expect to see an increase in their employment and in parallel an increase in job openings across the EU countries. Regarding the skill trends now in these top occupations, based on online job advertisements on the Skills Survey tool, we have identified these job-specific skills that you can see here, but it's very important to stress out again the increase in the demand of transversal skills. For instance, in all three occupations, here you see the example only for one, but in all three occupations, we see similar demand of transversal skills, particularly for the ability to collaborate in teams, the demonstration of willingness to learn, and you can also see problem solving and other kind of skills in the graphs. And finally, I will conclude with an overview of high-tech occupations in manufacturing. And when we say high-tech occupations in the context of digitalization again, we expect to see a high demand in occupations relevant to ICT and science and engineering. In our tools, these occupations are reflected as ICT technicians and professionals and science and engineering technicians and professionals. Now, in the field, in the whole sector of manufacturing, this is what we have data about for high-tech occupations, only for the broad sector of manufacturing. We see a high concentration of high-tech occupations. And regarding the future projection, in the manufacturing sector, we expect to see a significant growth. And just to give you a particular example, there will be a great demand for software developers in manufacturing, as we see from online job advertisement and other ICT-related jobs. So that was overall some insights we had for manufacturing. And we provide you with some sources that you can find and read our publications, data insights, and the links for all our CEDEFOP online tools. And to conclude, I have to say, I have to reply to the question why we believe that these tools are useful to you. So you can see from the presentation that you can collect data for your sector, and this might help you to enrich your understanding of the trends, skills, employment, and other trends in your domain, to support your students through consultation, maybe in the future to help you design curricula, and overall to provide you an additional source of information that is regularly updated. So I stop the presentation here, and thank you very much for your attention. Please let me know. Let me know if there are any questions.
Well, I have a question because I think your presentation was very, very interesting, also very much in line with also the findings of our EXCEED International Observatory. We will present later on with our colleagues from Oulu University, as I said at the very beginning, but also regarding, let's say, findings that we are also facing and discussing among the partnership. For example, let's say from one side, this interesting this interesting potential increase of women participation to advanced manufacturing given by digitalization and greening of overall processes. Because let's say all the partners are facing, let's say, a gender gap in the sectors, subsectors also. And it's a question we are, and it's a problem we are trying to face, joining forces with a specific intervention, not only innovating curricula or support servicing, etc., targeted campaigns and whatever, but let's say we are trying to attract more girls and women to our VET curricula, focus on the different subsectors and job occupations in the advanced manufacturing sector. So I would like to ask you some more information regarding this topic. And second question, if I may, because I would like to exploit this opportunity to discuss with you, also regarding impact, according to your perspective, impact of new technologies on replacement, job replacement in advanced manufacturing. So we are facing all over Europe a very particular phase transition, let's say, specifically in the automotive sector, as we are seeing from the media or also from what is happening in some countries. So this is something very interesting to ask for more details, if possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Elena, also for the information you provided about your approaches in the gender inclusion in the field. What we know so far about gender is based on these data sets. We all know that the situation today is this low representation of women in some particular sectors, not only in manufacturing, but also in electricity and ICT. And the future looks promising for most of these sectors. However, despite all these efforts in these years, so we don't see a significant improvement, at least up to 2035. And the projections are not so positive, let's say, for the ICT sector, as far as we know up to now. However, a relative increase is expected to happen for women in the area, because most opportunities will arise due to the digitalization and the green transition, and women will be more because of all this effort so far, they might be more motivated to participate in the field. But the results so far show a small increment in their participation, but of course this is something yet important and optimistic for our scenarios.
If I may add, if I may add, from a different perspective of CEDEFOP's work, we also work on what we call skills governance, which means the institutional arrangements in a country, in a region, in a sector, about how to understand skill trends and what to do with this information, how to adapt curricula, how to do extra trainings, funding, etc. So it is very important. Our mantra is that it's all about partnerships. I mean, there are several factors necessary, but it's partnerships, it's stakeholder active real collaboration that matters. And when we are talking about attractiveness of an occupation for females, for vulnerable groups, or even for some occupations that are misconceptions in the wider public, it's very important to include in the discussion even parents. Because when the choice is made, especially in some countries, we are talking about not adults, but very young teenagers. And then the parents have a great role in convincing their kid, or actually, ushering their kid to make a choice that right now may go against some stereotypical norms. And I think I'm not an expert in female participation, but from our research and my readings, I see how important this is. specifically for sectors and occupations where there's maybe a connotation that they're very technical and maybe not appropriate for women, and it's better if you are a boy to opt for such a specialization. I see there is a question from
Sophia, please.
Yes, good morning to all of you. I wanted to ask if there is any other occupation that are popular in the manufacturing or advanced manufacturing beside the top 3 that you have presented.
Great, thank you, Sophia. I will reply to this question and then to the digital impact that Ellen made before. The 3 occupations that we presented, they are mostly dependent on the employment share. They look to have the highest shares of employment in the sector of manufacturing. This doesn't mean that the same occupations do not belong in other sectors as well. And what we observe from online job advertisement mostly is that there is also a large high demand for technical laborers, electroengineering workers, and researchers and engineers. But also, when you are familiarized with our tools, you can also see on your own participation shares and demand in the occupations that might be of your interest mostly. And if I may, to Elena, you also made another question about the impact of automation and displacement possible of works. I have to say that in these occupations that I replied to Sophia, especially in metal and machinery workers, we expect to see a replacement by machines, let's say, automation because of the frequency of manual tasks performed in this kind of occupations. What we typically observe is that manual and low-skilled, most possibly elementary jobs, which entail routine work and can be easily automated, they are more vulnerable to be replaced by automation. Our research results, based on the surveys of CEDEFOP, show that in the manufacturing area, a large, let's say, share of manufacturing workers, it's less than half of them, they have experienced some task displacement because of job automation, but the good in this scenario is that their tasks were not replaced. They just shifted in new tasks, or they started to do new jobs. So displacement does not mean replacement, and many times it brings positive results, especially the manufacturing that elevates production efficiency.
Thank you very much. Any other question from participants? You can open the microphone or use the chat as you prefer.
I think we can move on to the Slido questions. And of course, as I said at the beginning, any question you may have afterwards, you can gladly reach out to us. So as I said earlier, we would like to learn also from you and understand your expectations. What would you like to do? Please use... now it will open. Okay, I think that you see the presentation. Please scan the QR code on your upper left side of the screen, or visit slido.com and use the hashtag and the number of the meeting. We would like to understand more about you. It's just for us. So what is the main subject that you teach? Please let me know if you can already see the question, if there is any technical issue.
Everything is working to me. I can see the first question.
Very good. Okay, maybe there is a bit of a delay. I can see circular economy, digital competence. Excellent. Very interesting. So there is a great variety of topics, all I think pedagogy and new skills and sectoral technical information, AI. Excellent. Decarbonization in shipping. Civics. Fantastic. Okay. Thank you so much. Continue writing. We will get the results, all results. Design courses and guidance. Very, very, very important parts. I see circular economy it's getting stronger. So at least some of you were interested in my quick scanning of our green work. Okay. So moving on to the second about your teaching is mainly relevant to which part of advanced manufacturing that can be a subsector or an activity. I mean, already in the first question, there were responses relevant to shipping and maritime. Depends, of course, on the country and the system, but there's some specializations that are very much linked to an occupation or a subsector. So if possible, design of products and processes very much linked to even circularity, sustainability, and also digitalization. It's a very important focus area. And mechanical manufacturing, you didn't see earlier. So yeah, technology is about a specific sector, and the shipping is a sector with a high digitalization level, decarbonization. Okay, I see that's I think, Katarina, we see, there's some people that were more focused on digitalization, others more on the green transition, but certainly also participants that focus on more job-specific aspects. Excellent, thank you so much. And we're wondering if during your work, through your teaching, you've seen that there are some skill trends. So what maybe employers that you talk to, your students when they go and try to find work or work placements, or through the curricula and the update, if you see some skills becoming more important about green transition, digital, technical, some skills linked to regulation, because definitely, I mean, someone mentioned materials earlier. There's new regulation about that, and people need to be taught. If there's something other, and if I would really kindly ask you to put something in the chat, so we get it later. Well, one of my focus areas is the green skills and jobs research. So I'm happy for the top of the responses, but digital now goes. I mean, it's not the actual the exact numbers that matter. We see the trends, and that yes, indeed, we go for a twin transition, but also, of course, technical skills are super important. Now, moving on to the next question is, do you use skills intelligence for designing or updating your teaching? So skills intelligence, we mean any type of information, data, or some reports, some trends that you read about, which skills are important. I see 6, okay, the number of responses increases, and that's fantastic to see that you are using some sources. That's really encouraging, and of course, well done. Because I know in some countries it's not so easy to actually adapt the teaching. And from those of you that actually use information about trends in the labor market, about skills, we would like to see what type of information you use, what type of skills intelligence you use. It's from national statistics or regional statistics, sectoral association. You communicate with employers in any format. Maybe some of you are even involved in apprenticeships, or I mean, communication can be informal, formal. sectoral associations and other, okay. And very strong share about you do your own research. This is admirable, I must say, but at the same time also shows that, you know, maybe you could be supported more with the information. Very good. I think that, yeah, we've reached that. I find it always admirable when educators and vet people in general, they do their own research in trying to identify new trends and improve their teaching. But I see also the importance of sectoral associations. And they are very key stakeholders. It's one of our stakeholders too, and we try to provide them with as much information as possible. So thank you. That's it from me. Now we will move to Katerina's second presentation showing of our skills intelligence tool. Before it starts, just to highlight that as an EU agency, we do provide information at the EU level. And so we do not have regional data, at least not yet, because there are several data limitations we try to overcome. But we truly hope that you find information that is useful to you. So Katerina will now navigate you through the tool. Then we will run a sort of exercise with you. And in the end, would just ask for your feedback about this whole contribution.
Thank you, Stelina. I'm sharing my screen. Okay. No, not here, sorry. So I will open the CEDEFOP website. You can see the link on the top of the browser. In the presentation that we will provide you later, you can find the links of all the tools, but I will show you how to navigate to two of these, the Skills Intelligence and the Skills of 8 through the central CEDEFOP website. If you have laptops, computer screens in front of you, you can follow if you want. But after the short presentation, we will share it with you an exercise that you can practice on your own in order to solve some simple tasks and see how this tool might be useful and easy for you. So, in the CEDEFOP website, in this menu item here, online tools, we can see a list of all the online tools that CEDEFOP website offers to us. This is where we can find the Skills Intelligence tool, among others. Okay, you see the Skills Forecast, the Skills of 8, and this is the European Skills Job Survey. These are all the data that we used earlier from. So I click on the Skills Intelligence tool and I am navigated to the main page. It's a simple website, and we have the tabs here that categorize our content according to particular themes that aggregate relevant material. You can search by particular occupation, sector, and country. Here in the Indicators tab, what you see is a list of all the indicators, all the metrics, all the measurements you can call that we use in the Skills Intelligence tool, and these data are aggregated and filtered by their corresponding tabs. For instance, you can see that we measure the automation risk for occupations, and it's available for countries, occupations, and the content focus, it's the theme that you can find it here. Let's see quickly an example. For instance, if you click the digital skills level, you can filter by year only. The last update we have is 2023. And you can see a dashboard, a series of charts that you will have some time to read on your own in order to identify trends per country. And underneath, you always find a brief description of the most significant trends. Okay, the highest scores, the lowest scores, and usually the medium, the average in the EU. And there are other graphs here, just very quickly to tell you that you can change the visual of the graph and make it according to your preferences and needs. And this way you can navigate in all the indicators, each one of them provides you with different information, okay, on different contexts, and you can filter by different dimensions. I will now navigate to the occupations tab. We have a description on the top of the page. It's good when you have time, okay, on your own to also read the description every time and understand what this indicator or tab is about. And now you see one filter for the occupations. The occupation is based on the classification that we use in CEDEFOP. And you can see broader or more detailed categories of occupations. And also you can filter by country. It can be all countries, which are the EU member states, plus Iceland and Norway, or you can select a distinct country. Again, here I have to point out that we have to be careful when we interpret this data in our own country context. Okay, these are trends and projections. Let's select an occupation, for instance, here, science and engineering technicians that we saw. Now, for the occupation science and engineering technicians in all countries, on average, if I don't select anything from here, I can also have a description of this kind of occupation to understand if this is what I'm looking for. I have some main key facts, okay, some generic trends for this particular occupation in these countries. And then again, there is a list of charts that provide me with some information I might find useful based on the list of indicators always that I showed you earlier. For instance, here we can see most details, occupations, future job prospects of this occupation across countries in the future. So in the dashboard, it's important to distinguish when these facts are about now, the current or the last updated year, which is usually 2023, sometimes 2022, we regularly update, or whether it's about the future, which is up to 2035, so that you can tell future from current trends. And in a similar approach, you can navigate by sector. For instance, here, you can find the manufacturing sector, you can select your country, and you can see some main trends in your country. Now, that's all about the Skills Intelligence tool. It's up to you how to use it, what kind of data you're interested in. Of course, what is more important is to know what is there, what you can find in there, and how to utilize it. Okay, we only provide in a visualized format because we try to make it user-friendly. That's why the visualizations. We provide this data for you, and it's up to every stakeholder, every user, how to utilize and also to interpret them. And in the Data Insights tab, we provide you a link also for this. You can find some publications and report about selected themes like occupation sectors or skill trends. Now, I will go again to the list of the online tools. If I click, I see this environment here, and I will jump into the Skills of 8 tool, which is somewhere here. Skills of 8 tool. Now, this is a platform, as I said, that collects online job advertisements from millions of data sets from online job portals and private job portals, etc., across Europe. And I will only show you very briefly the part that is most relevant to our today's session. So, in the OJA Data Insights, you can also take a note if you want. What I believe that might be useful for you is to go to sectors and skills, and also occupations and skills. So occupations and skills and sectors and skills. So this allows you to select a particular occupation or a particular sector and see what are the requested skills, the most requested skills, published, posted by employers in all this huge data set of online job ads. So I go directly to the occupation tab. The categorization here of occupation and sector is based on this classification. Okay, this is not to make it confusing for you, just to understand that we start from something broader and we go into more detail every time. So let's say that you don't know, no, let's start from here, the geographical coverage, because it covers more countries. You can select it to be only for the EU countries, or you can select again a particular country according to your interest, but be aware of the limitation, okay? Because in some countries we don't have so much frequency of online job ads, especially for particular sectors. That's why we need to be aware of these limitations in our country. So this is the broad sector. Let's say that you don't know the broad sector because it's very generic. So let's go straightly into, let's say, sales workers. Okay, so I can click on it. It's all dynamic. I can click the sales workers. What I see here is the occupations, the detailed occupations of sales workers demanded by employers online. So you can have some examples of more detailed occupations belonging in this category, let's say. Now, the most important and useful things is to go to the next part of the page and see the most requested skills. Again, these are broad categories of skills according to the ESCO classification. And here you can see more detailed skills, starting from the most popular one and going to the most rare ones. If you click on a particular skill, and I will show you this, working with computers, because you will not find digital skills here, okay, yes, digital skills, but you will find working with computers or information and communication technologies, because as I said, they are based on ESCO classification. So let's see, I want to see what kind of skills, digital skills, it's needed for sales workers. And I see that the most requested one is accessing and analyzing digital tools. And then is using digital tools for collaboration, and then other examples. So this is how we can search skills for a particular occupation in the Skills of 8 platform. And in a very similar approach, you can do the same for the sector and skills that you can go here more easily. You can identify manufacturing and then play with the graphs as I showed you and search particular skills for the manufacturing sector. So this was, let's say, the main overview. I don't know if some of you that tried, you could follow me. But in any case, now we will, we will share a document with you that gives you some tasks. You can spend about 15 minutes in order to solve these 3 tasks. You have very clear instructions. You can keep it for you, okay? No need to send it back to us. And in the end, we can discuss your difficulties and your findings.
Thank you. Irina, we were planning to share the Word document in the chat, but for some reason it's not active and you have activated Q&A. Is it possible?
Yeah, try to share it in the Q&A. Otherwise, you can send it to me by the email, and I will try to share it in the chat. Being honest, I have no idea what happened, but try first to do it in the
me
Q&A.
and Katerina cannot, because in the chat, in the Q&A, there is no possibility to upload an how can I say,
Yes,
an attachment.
In the chat, you can click on the plus. I can see the plus, for example. If you click here, you can select attach file. Otherwise, you can send it by email, and I will provide immediately the sharing.
Okay, so I will share the screen until we send it to Elena, so the participants can have an initial overview.
Yes, of course.
I'm sorry, we didn't know that it was not possible to use the chat.
It's this one. Yes. Okay, I will just zoom into the task and you can read the instructions later. It's 3 tasks, about 4 or 5 minutes each, but you can reach to the level that you can manage today. Okay, no rush, just to get familiarized.
I have sent the Word as an you can share it as an attachment, and maybe Katerina, we can support participants about how to navigate the tasks. So it's just a suggestion, you know, we can have, like, say, about 5 minutes, or even a bit less if possible, for each task. And the first task, I hope you can all see Katerina sharing, is about find the employment growth in high-tech occupations. The indicator in the skills intelligence tool, and navigate to the corresponding page, and then identify the top 3 sectors expected to experience highest employment growth. So please use the proposed URL and try to see if you can find this. The purpose is not to put you in a student position. It's just to see whether you can find some requested information rather easily. Definitely, it's understandable that I assume the majority of you have not navigated the tool before, and we want to see, you know, if this information is useful to you in the format, whether, you know, maybe then consider if you could actually use this information for your work. And in the meantime, if you know, if you encounter any difficulties, any challenges, just let us know. Open your mic and let us know. And whoever is done can move to task 2. Irina, have you received my email?
Yeah, it's already in the chat. I also wanted to tell to the participants, in case if anybody has some issues with the chat, I'm going to send it also by the email, if you don't mind. So everybody is going to receive it immediately.
Thank you. It's still not working for Katerina and me.
Yes,
yes. It says we're having trouble loading your messages. Try refreshing, and we refresh and it doesn't work. In any case, it doesn't matter. If it works for participants, this is what's most important. So task 1, does anyone have any challenge?
We can wait 5 minutes and then we can see, yes, if you had any difficulties. So if somebody managed to reach at some level to the first task, please feel free to share your screen, whoever wants, and you can show us how you navigated there. Maybe because of time limitations, we can also share with you the solutions so that you can have them after the session and to take your time and see exactly how you could navigate to the requested points. So let's focus on the
thank you.
first task, which is the easiest, let's say, and see how you can reach there. And so you can see the solutions for the other. Of course, we understand that you might need to take more time to get familiarized. It's a tool, no matter if we believe it's user-friendly, it's a new tool for you. Stopping sharing my screen, and let's see if we have any volunteer. No? Would you like me to share my screen and show you the first task? And let me know.
I can say what. Eleonora. Thank you
great.
very much,
Thank
Eleonora.
you. Thank you, Eleonora.
I will
Thank
try.
you. So,
Yes, please.
yeah, of course.
So I went to the indicators page, and
Great.
I look for the employment growth in high-tech occupation section.
Great.
And I can share my screen. And if I'm right, the sector are accommodation, food, and education, and finance and insurance. Is it correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Great. So the three greatest ones, let's say. So you just note them down. Congratulations. Thank you, Eleonora. Could you please tell us, did you find it easy? It was easy to identify the indicator based on the content?
Yes. Yeah.
Great. So the easiest approach, let's say, for a beginner is to go to the list of indicators and search indicator by indicator, okay, before proceed to by occupation and by sector, which is more aggregated and complex dashboards, let's say. Very well, thank you. So because we are out of time, I suggest that we share the solutions for the other two. And we proceed now, since we have, most of us, you have completed the first task, more or less, we can proceed to the last part of the session. Stelina?
Yes, thank you. We see that, so it would have been, we would have needed more time to, allow you to navigate more. As Katarina said, we understand it's a new tool and that there is a lot of information there. Our main goal was to, show it to you, give you some taste, and maybe interest you in navigating it and hoping that you will find information that will be useful to you. Again, of course, we will share with our presentations the solutions to the tasks, and whoever has any question afterwards, please share them through Elena and Irina. We will be happy to reply and provide you further information, even on a topic, etc. So, always trying to see what we can, of course, do better. We have this short Slido survey that I hope it's launched and I will kindly ask you to scan again the QR code or join this Slido at this new number. From what, of course, your small time with the tool and while Katarina was explaining and navigating the different dashboards and the indicators and the rationale, how difficult or easy did you find to use or to probably use the Skills Intelligence tool? Thank you very much for responding.
Great. At least for the navigation task that we managed to complete today, this is a good overall experience received from you.
That's excellent. Thank you so much. But again, we always see the opportunity to improve, so we hope that at some point it's easy for everyone to use. And last, if to the extent again that you saw it, especially through the navigation as a user, is it something that you really liked or something that you think would be improved? If you could briefly share with us, because this tool, of course, it's the outcome of several years of relevant experience in Cedefop. In the past, we had the Skills Panorama, and a dedicated platform for skills intelligence. Our experience with users, with stakeholders, has been that, sometimes it could be even the colors or the type of the graph, or the where a graph is placed and how much text is accompanied with various seemingly details, but are very important for users to better understand and better navigate. So of course, we would like to hear from you and your views. Again, if you have the opportunity to go through the platform at a later stage and you have feedback, you have some idea, you experience some challenge, please, we would welcome any feedback. Yeah, that's lots of data, that's true. And it's also now we focused on the quantitative part. There's also information in the qualitative parts, what we call data insights. You can click and there's a list of short reports. We understand people don't have that much time on various topics, some of them for occupations, some of them for sectors, for countries. Yes, for regions, I see the point, and thank you for highlighting it. We are in the process that we are exploring the regional data that we can include in the skills of VEIT. You can find some regional data from online job advertisements. However, the information that we have on the Skills Intelligence website, as we are an EU agency, we have to have information that is comparable for all member states. And you can imagine that the availability of relevant regional data is not so complete to allow us to have, let's say, a comprehensive overview in a dashboard, etc. But now there is a step has been made with online job advertisements, and please rest assured that we do our best for the quantitative part, but also for the qualitative part. For example, some colleagues are running projects on regional skill strategies and how they support the green transition, and they discuss also the role of the stakeholders. So we definitely have activities in relation to the regional aspect. But thank you for highlighting it. It also supports our case when we make such efforts. Excellent. Thank you so much. Oh, sorry, there's a question. Oh, I misheard. I'm sorry. So I think we will of course go into Slido and download all your responses and check them thoroughly. Thank you very much. Oh, videos. That's an interesting suggestion. Videos are used mostly at the general Cedefop web portal, but why not? We can also explore. So thank you very much for your inputs and your time. And we hope it was useful to you as it was to us. And again, we are at your disposal for any clarification.
Thank you very much for this presentation. We'll evaluate also the session later on according to our quality plan. So if you want, if might be useful to have a feedback, we can share also the results with you, so you can check let's say, satisfaction level of participants. Thank you very much for, let's say, your very useful guidance also through the tools. I think it's necessary to increase our confidence. And anyway, there are a lot of data that are very useful for any kind of research. Also, we use them for the EXCEED project, by the way. So I think we have only to stay connected and exploit, let's say, all what you, let's say, will continuously improve and add. Also in our observatory, we consider CEDEFOP skill intelligence, or in way CEDEFOP tools as a reference tool for our activity. So I think that the session of today was really important, just to learn from you, and also, let's say, to create connection about different topics we are facing through our activities in the project, mostly connected to the observatories, as I said, but also for the overall main aim of innovating that curricula. So thank you very much once again. We will stay in contact with feedback and sharing of documents and presentation. We will upload all the supporting materials for participants on our webpage as agreed. Have a good day ahead, and I think we can stop here for 10 minutes. We can have a break just to switch on the second session managed by our colleague Ari from the University of Oulu. Thank you very much, Stellina and Caterina, and all the best.
Thank you so.
I think we can restart our works. Thank you very much for joining again after break. I hope, as Rossella was saying, that you found, let's say, the session with the CEDEFOP representative very useful for your activity, or anyway, you found it inspiring for further activities you will carry out in the future. It's time to give the floor to our colleague, Ari, from the University of Oulu. So, member of the EXCEED team. Under the framework of our project, the University of Oulu is coordinating the overall implementation and overall activity of our International Observatory for the eco-digital innovation in the advanced manufacturing sector. And recently, the observatory, after the first year of activity, has published its first report on skills trends analysis and some information regarding the most requested occupations in the future, just to inspire VET professionals for the new and future design of responsive VET curricula. So Ari, please, you are connected yet. The floor is yours. If you need any assistance from our side, ask, okay?
Okay, thank you very much. So I'm Ari Vuokila, I'm from University of Oulu. I'm working there as postdoctoral researcher and in the Environmental and Chemical Engineering Research Unit. And today I'm presenting the results of this first technical report on from the observatory in the EXCEED project. So the technical report can be found in the project website. It should be available quite soon in there. And it consists of two parts. The first part is the desk research part with the particular interested in manufacturing, automotive, mechatronics, and shipbuilding sectors. And it's going through the macro trends in the sectors and also skills needs in twin transitions and occupation-related skills. And the other part is then the survey, structured survey that was made, or structured interviews that were made in Oulu area in different companies, and this is presented in the end of the presentation. Okay, the main sources then for the desk research were the Future of Jobs report from World Economic Forum, Then European skills, competencies, qualification and occupations portal. Then this occupational information network, which is similar to ESCO, but from United States. And then different CEDEFOP reports and some research articles. So to understand what is affecting the change, how businesses are transforming the Future of Jobs report, we're discussing with or interviewing more than 1,000 global companies, and based on those interviews, they get the transformation drivers for these special fields, and this is the general. So the new and cutting edge technologies is the most important one. Broadening digital access is in the same level, and different environmental, social and governance standards still at more than 80% of interest. So these changes are seen in the companies that these are the most affecting changes. I only took the drivers that are relevant to these advanced manufacturing fields. So then the green transition investments and climate change induced investments are in smaller parts, but they are still in a big role. And the most important technology drivers in the near future, based on the report, was the big data, cloud computing, and artificial intelligence. And the most important job growth drivers then are the big data analytics, climate change, environmental management technologies, and encryption and cybersecurity related themes. And these are quite similar to what CEDEFOP representatives were presenting earlier. And what is always important in driving different businesses is legislation. And in Europe, the EU waste directives are driving big changes in the companies. So the goal is to reduce health and environmental effects of wastes and keep valuable resources in the economy. And by 2030, all EU states must recycle at least 60% of their municipal wastes. And in different types of wastes, there is the Waste Framework Directive that targets the municipal wastes for recycling and preparing for reuse. Then the very important part for advanced manufacturing sector is the Electrical and Electronic Equipment Directive, which targets the separate collection and recycling of electrical and electronic wastes. And then there is also the Packaging Waste Directive, which defines targets for recycling packaging waste. So we can see that the EU is currently driving very high targets for wastes and waste recycling, and also in recycling and collection of different electrical and electronic wastes, as there are massive amounts of valuable resources in the wastes, and these are not utilized very effectively at the moment, but hopefully in the future they will be more a better source for resources. And then the sustainability related, the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, the CSRDs, these are talked a lot in different companies at the moment, and a lot of companies are having, for example, different diploma theses related in these targets at the university. So you can see there is lots going on in the field. So it has direct impact to the company's operation, as they need to have environmental impact assessed for their products and services through their whole product life cycle or service life cycle. And also the production technology, circularity, reusability, durability and repairability are in the core of this directive. And these new design and workers in product repair are part of the future needs. And this right to repair directive as well, it drives the sustainability of production and manufacturing sector. And in there, new manufacturing materials and methods and production ways are coming in the near future. And the sustainability and repairability are in the core of this directive, and with the safe working, green chemicals, different types of manuals to how to repair your product, electronic products and such, and these repair documents and digital communication skills. So these types of things, they affect the sustainable practices in companies. The adaptability of the workers is coming in the question, and also the problem solving skills, as you need to think differently and operate differently in your production systems. And when we are moving towards these products that can be actually repaired, so repair, maintenance and diagnostic skills are becoming more asked and more common in the VECT sector. And in the directive itself, the 3D printing of spare parts is singled out as a technology that can be utilized in the future. So this skill also is becoming more and more common. And you can see that people have plenty of 3D printers already in their homes at the moment. So in the advanced manufacturing and automotive and aerospace sectors, the macro trends that can be seen are automation acceleration. It is estimated that 80 to 90% within the next 5 years of companies find the automation acceleration as the most important effect to the work to the companies in the next 5 years. And AI technologies adoption for operation. This World Economic Forum's The Future of Jobs report was made before the big hype of around AI. So you can see that 72% of AM and 85% of automotive and aerospace companies still found the AI technologies very important. But I'm quite sure that these numbers have increased in the past 1.5 years, when there has been huge amounts of discussion around AI and also different applications. But it has been estimated in the past that the automation always increases quite heavily in few years' time. So basically between 2020 and 23, the automation level stayed at the 34% of the jobs. But the estimation in 2020 was that automation level in 2025 would be 47%. And then the estimation in 2023 was that the automation level in 2027 would be 42%. So it's lower than the estimation in 2020 for 2025. So this is quite interesting. So automation is typically slower than estimated. And in advanced manufacturing, still the macro trends in the digital skills ambitions in action. Cedefop's skills forecast digitalization scenario report states that metal, machinery and related trades jobs will be highly affected by AI and machine learning, as there is plenty of possibility for automation and for different types of intelligent production and industrial robotics. And this operator and production manager decision making, it is supported with statistical analysis software algorithms and probability calculations. So for the employees, there will be need to have a fundamental understanding of different information technologies and advanced manufacturing technologies, so they can understand the statistical reasoning behind the solutions in the future. The personal tasks with servicing of advanced systems require thorough process knowledge and being able to use this information stored in cloud computing systems. So there is massive amounts of information, everything is measured, and everything has different types of analytical or analysis and different types of solutions. So you need to really understand what you are doing and how to read these processes. And in the shipbuilding sector, it is very crucial that to decarbonize the maritime sector, there is need for smart and sustainable mobility strategy. And this new industrial strategy for Europe, it is highlighting the shipbuilding's crucial role in driving twin transitions. It's enhancing industrial competitiveness and improving connectivity. So there is a lot of things going on in shipbuilding sector as well. And the vision for 2030 and 2050 is to have the green and clean waterborne transport, safer and more secure waterborne transport, connected and automated, and competitiveness in eco-friendly shipyards. So basically, there is big goals in shipbuilding sector for 2030 and 2050, and it requires a lot of new skills in the workforce and a lot of training there as well. And the automotive industry has a project that is quite well related to our exit project, which they were presenting in their LinkedIn site, and they were commenting that traditional combustion engine skills will lessen in the future, but there is a need for skilled mechanics for repairs and spare parts recycling. So even if the electric cars will become more common, there is still a need for people in repairs and recycling in the future, as cars are typically used for quite a long time. And this circular economy, they require new skill sets in refurbishment, retrofitting, recycling, and vehicle lifespan extension. And these skills themselves, they are not new, but these existing skills, they need to change within the industry. For example, they were discussing about dismantling vehicles for repurposing it For example, in a case of old buses that were running with with diesel, they are taking basically them apart, installing batteries and electrical motors, and they are then utilizing them in different kind of way than before. So this is not something that is done before in Renault. So they basically need to improve skills of their workers in this field as well. So new kind of thinking and new kind of operations also. And what kind of skills are then needed in digital and green transitions? The basic level of digital knowledge, it has become standard requirement for more than 90% of professional roles. And basically 42% of European adults were lacking in basic digital skills in 2021. And this is something that there is a little bit more elaboration afterwards. So this Avi Reichenthal from Nexa 3D printing or 3D printing and 3D printer company, he was said in an interview that we've been teaching maths and science for many years, but now students must graduate with digital literacy as a basic skill and competency, bringing it back to how do you make a better planet. None of this happens without broadly available and transactional digital literacy skills. I would almost argue that it is a human right. And as this company is directly related to high-tech and advanced manufacturing sector, they see the potential there is very high. So in 2024, in last summer, Cedefop made a report that they said that it's estimated that the AI education and training programs are needed at all levels. The basic digital skills training should be overall increased to cover 80% of the individuals, but it isn't enough to keep people employable anymore, as there is becoming more and more skills related to, for example, in artificial intelligence sectors or artificial intelligence related to their own sectors. So they need to be able to also adapt quite quickly to the changing working environments. So in 2021, Shearer stated that digital skills have become a basic requirement. So AI-related skills gradually become essential in nearly all occupations. AI literacy skills work with AI rather than developing it at the most complex levels in wet fields especially. But there is significant gap in AI-related skills among teaching staff. So their skills need to be updated as well. And these transversal skills are also more and more important. Well, this is also something that Cedefop people were stating, that such as critical thinking, learning to learn, communication, and financial and media literacy. These are applicable in a wide range of life and work settings. So adaptability to changes and to identify and seize career opportunities, as there might be a lot of changes in the work life in the future, near future. Some jobs might basically be changing to something new. And individuals are now expected to continuously acquire new marketable skills throughout their lives. And in the research paper, needs and requirements for an additional AI qualification during dual vocational training results from studies of apprentices and teachers. In 2022, this is quite an interesting article related to AI qualification in vocational education. And I highly recommend it for you if you are interested in this field. So it also states that AI qualification requires competent teachers with extensive knowledge of the content. And this additional AI qualification would be of particular interest to apprentices in technical occupational fields, especially to apprentices in computer science, in the automotive industry, or in electrical engineering. But I think this also applies easily in mechatronics and manufacturing sectors, and as well as in the shipbuilding sector, as these are all in the fields which have plenty of possibilities for automation and artificial intelligence solutions. To understand these concepts of AI, data science, and machine learning, apprentices will also need certain mathematical skills. But they also need to address the ethical concerns regarding AI, as there is, of course, possibility to use it in unethical ways. In critical thinking skills, as there is now more and more content online which is produced by AI. The AI is learning from AI, and how to this is basically corrupting the way that AI is gathering its data, and so garbage in produces garbage out. So this is something that also needs to be understood, that AI can be wrong, and it can hallucinate the information that it's creating based on the questions of the person who is asking. The apprentices' wish was to learn especially through the experience of solving problems that could arise in their workplaces. And I think this is in the core of utilizing AI in wet education. And sometimes prepare data for further analysis or train AI agent themselves. For example, in some industrial field where you could utilize AI in your machinery or production system, where you could train it with your data. You could analyze the working methods of different workers, so you could produce different AI-based educational systems. Basically, the AI would have learned from the workers themselves, and they would basically be teaching then the workers to, for example, who are replacing them in case of illnesses or whatever. And these apprentices' views on AI was that in society the importance was 80.7% important in their lives. This was 2022. It would be interesting to see updates based on this year's data, as I would assume this has increased as a lot of people are utilizing it in several different things. Importance in professional careers, then it's more than 90% see it as important tool in their future. And the interest in certain topics, the basic concepts, it was almost 70%. Practical examples. So this is basically questionnaire for these apprentices in the field, and asked what are their interested areas in AI. So practical examples, machine learning, areas of application, data management, ethical aspects, and critical questions and programming. So basically, these these apprentices, they were not generally interested in programming, but they were interested in utilizing the AI in their fields, which makes quite a lot of sense. So then the skills, the share of organizations considering skills to be core skills in their workers in 2023. So basically, then the blue ones is the automotive and aerospace, and the orange one is manufacturing sector. These are quite in good relation in each other. There are some big differences there, but you can see the analytical thinking is in the core of both, and also in manufacturing sector, the creative thinking is thought to be very important. And generally, these skills related to these thinking skills and troubleshooting and anything that is related how to operate in situations which require new kind of thinking, they are becoming more and more important in work life. And you can see in this this graph where share of organizations considering skills evolution between 2023 and 27 for their workers in 2023. So the skills which are in curiosity, lifelong learning, technology literacy, systems thinking, analytical thinking, creative thinking, all of these are highly valued in companies in future. And these are becoming more and more important. You can see that overall, almost all the skills importance is increasing based on this survey. And in aerospace and automotive, the biggest change takes place in environmental stewardship with 3030% increase from 23 to 27. Networks and cybersecurity almost 300% increase. Sensory processing abilities almost 300. Teaching and mentoring global citizenship. But then the change in the importance of manual dexterity, endurance, and precision, it's lowering by 42%, which is quite a big change in a skill set that was previously quite basic skill in the field. Then in manufacturing sector, the sensory processing abilities is the biggest increase. The global citizenship, networks and cybersecurity, and marketing and media, and these are seen as very important for the future. But what is quite interesting is that reading, writing, and mathematics is projected to decrease by 15.4%, which seems a little bit unlikely if you would consider utilizing, for example, AI in your field, as you will get more and more gatekeeping of information related tasks. And then also in manufacturing, the manual dexterity, endurance, and precision skills are estimated to lower by 14%. In shipbuilding sector, then the upskilling and reskilling that are thought to be the most important ones are robotics, advanced manufacturing, 3D and 4D printing, IoT connectivity, big data, cybersecurity, augmented and virtual reality, advanced energy generation, storage, and distribution technologies. So these are basically in the in the same fields that are important in other sectors of advanced manufacturing as well. And the jobs that are becoming more important and changing in the shipbuilding sector are the need for more data scientists, 3D printing technicians, to both in polymers and also in metal printing, and system architects and cybersecurity specialists, industrial, mechanical and electrical engineers, along with naval architects. So these are in line with the upskilling and reskilling needs as well. In the ESCO dataset, it was compared for different key professions in the EXID project, especially in the case of mechatronics assembler, motor vehicle assembler, computer numerical control machine operator. And these data sets from 2024 were compared to 2022 and 2017 data sets to see if there are trends in the change of these professions from 2017 to 2024, based on the job applications and also the company estimations. So basically, in ESCO you will get the list of different skills and competencies, and their concepts are in broader range, and then they are in the let's say highly targeted range of skills. So they are part of something bigger, and then they are created into these smaller skills and competencies and knowledge related themes that are categorized under certain name. So the main findings from ESCO was that mechatronics assemblers skills and competencies had remained practically the same since 2017. There was only some changes in the name of some skills, but basically the skills remained the same. And motor vehicle assembler, only change since 2017 was the vehicle type approval. But in the CNC machine operator, the 3D printing related skills and knowledge and 3D computer graphics appeared between 2017 and 2022. So it can be seen that the trends related to CNC machine operator skills, they are more and more they are getting more wide, in a sense that they are getting also in 3D printing and 3D computer graphics related things. Of course, 3D computer graphics also become more important with 4 and 5 axis milling, for example, not only with 3D printing. Then similarly to CEDEFOP people, I didn't see the presentations beforehand, but I was checking some tools for you to apply in your own fields, which could be utilized directly in your teachings and in the design of new new qualifications, for example. So there is the skills await with detailed information. Then the job and skill trends in EU. This is combining skills in skills await and ESCO occupations. This has a little bit more, it's more directly related to these ESCO occupations than in skills await. As in skills await, there are none of these very detailed occupations listed, but in the Europass you can see these as well. And I took as an example here the manufacturing from skills await. There is metal and machinery workers, what are most requested skills in level 1 ESCO and what are in level 3 ESCO. As these levels go deeper, it will get more and more detailed in certain fields. So you can see in there the most asked skills from this time. So there is always the time frame which data is utilized in skills await. So you can get the, let's say, the wider range of skills. There are still, you can see these are not very specific. These are the higher level still, even though these are getting deeper in ESCO levels. In Europass, then, for example, this is for metal additive manufacturing operator. Their top skills. These are taken directly from skills await, and which are the most requested skills for metal additive manufacturing operator at the moment, based on the online job applications. So you can see the top skills and top knowledge groups. If you open these, there is just some small explanation what this means. But on general level, this is quite good information, but when you are considering the differences in these trends, this doesn't show the percentages or exact numbers. So you don't know the difference, for example, between the first and second or first and 10th. These are just listed as such. But I think on general level, in any case, these could be potentially useful tools. Then the occupational information in the USA is stored in this ONET online service, which is similar to ESCO, but it combines similar systems with the skills await and also with this Europass system. So this is something that is quite useful tool for Europe as well. Of course, it might be that not everything matches, but you can see different skills that are asked a lot nowadays. For example, in US, you can see the exact numbers, you can see the percentages, and for example, for different skills in this ONET online system. So it combines all of these services into one, which makes it a little bit more user-friendly. So you can see in demand skills or hot technologies, and which are frequently added to job postings. Skills, knowledge, and competencies, these match well with ESCO, but they are written in different way. But ESCO people have made this systematic approach where they are utilizing AI to match the competencies in ONET Online and in ESCO system. So you can directly see which matches well with which occupation. Yeah, and this is one thing that I like in this ONET, that the skills are defined and opened directly after the skill itself. So you don't need to go forward in the systems to find the information. And it also contains information about projected growth and occupation-specific importance of each skill. So you can get the idea, for example, what is estimated for 2035, the importance of this occupation in the future, and also which skills are more important. So it gives this kind of tables if you download them directly from the system, and it gives you the idea. For example, in here it says Autodesk AutoCAD is in demand and it's hot technology, and Dassault Systems CATIA. So it's detailed enough to go into programs themselves, which are found of importance in US companies. Yeah, but I won't go those through in more detail. So the structured interviews in Oulu. In our Macon companies, Henry Saarela and then the Osaos teachers, they were making these structured interviews for companies in advanced manufacturing sector in Oulu area. And they were the interview questions were based on the vocational qualifications of Finland in the context of EXIT project. So the topics were sustainable development, advanced manufacturing, and digital environments. And these companies, they answered the questions in scale 1 to 4, which 1 is minor significance and 4 is of great significance. And this is one of vocational qualification as an example here. And each bullet were then taken as one question in the interview. So there were 3 companies in the time that this report was made. The international publicly traded company in the field of steel industry. The second one was startup company that creates injection molded structural electronics that integrate flexible printed circuitry and discrete electronic components into mass-produced 3D injection molded plastics. And then the third one is contract manufacturer in the field of sheet metal, flat bar and bus bar mechanics, machining and assembly. In addition, supporting customers such as productization, logistics, and product information management. So 3 very different types of companies. And the company number 1 was thinking that the sustainable development and different advanced manufacturing techniques, they are very important for the company. All the answers were 3 or 4s. Working in digital environment, it's more spreaded, but you can see that it's still very, very important. And some comments from the interview was that the importance of maintenance and forecasting will become more prominent utilizing digitalization, for example, digital twins in the process maintenance and process forecasting. the significance of data obtained from the process is important. We utilize artificial intelligence. The aim is fossil-free production and sustainable development. Every employee can contribute. So basically, you can see the twin transition is directly utilized and linked to this company number 1. And some more comments is that the importance of understanding the responsibility in the context of digital tools and information security. So basically, understanding what are the consequences if you don't act according to the rules of utilizing digital information and different types of tools. The importance of utilizing up-to-date information seeking and relevant sources, and this of course includes different types of AI tools, and also the critical assessment of the information produced by the AI. Then the company number 2, the sustainable development and different advanced manufacturing techniques, all answers were 4. So everything was very, very important for the company. Digital environment, very important. So you could say that this company is very keen on the as this is a startup company in the field of advanced manufacturing. They can see the importance of these. But what was interesting is in the company's operation politics is that operators are seen as experts as they know the process best, and these operators, they work in high cooperation with research teams, including PhD researchers of the company. So the operators themselves are part of the process development directly. And it is good to have some basic wet, but most important is the availability to learn new things straight at work. And this was also in Cedefop presentation as well, as it is also in all other sources as well. Then the company number 3, the results in the sustainable development and advanced manufacturing techniques. You can see more variation here, 30% in 2s, 55% in 3s, and 15% in 4s. And in the digital environment, 2s and 3s are almost all, and only few in 5s. And the information security is very important for them, and basic professional competence is important, and it comes through practical experience. So you need to learn by doing. So thank you. This was my part.
Thank you very much, Ari, for this presentation. I think this first report is quite inspirational for, let's say, the updating processes or the brand new design processes connected to that curricula. Of course, we are talking about that. That means strong business education partnership. So, for example, learning by doing, not only at the vet centers or schools, but also directly in the company. So all the findings are also confirming, let's say, how vocational education is moving on in order to increase its readability and the capacity of increase the overall responsiveness to change, to face new changes. So thank you very much. We can say that this report will be available very soon on the Exceed website, as all the other deliverables foreseen by the project. You can check the website and see what is available yet. Irina shared the link in the chat, but in any case, let's say, searching a seed project is quite easy to find the web platform with all the open access resources. You can find on the website also an AI assistance to identify sources or relevant information according to what you would like to learn deeply or to explore in depth. So thank you once again. I think this first report is a valuable source, and it's very complementary also with what we learned from CEDEFOP in the previous session, as you have mentioned, Ari, several times during your presentation itself. So any question to Ari or to the other ExCeed colleagues working on the observatory? We have still some minutes, so feel free to ask. Open your microphone or use in the chat. So no questions. I think it has been a very intense training session. So thank you very much to all our experts and speakers. We will send you a follow-up email with all the materials, with the links to all the resources you can have for further explorations and for learning in depth more what we have just introduced today. Please take also to our evaluation form just to collect your feedback, because this is the testing phase of our upskilling program for professionals. So any feedback would be very valuable also to further improve our training sections for the future. So take your time to kindly answer our questionnaire. Thank you very much once again. I remember that the next training session online will be on the 20th of March, but let's say be sure we will contact you via email with a dedicated recap. So have a good and a nice day ahead. Thank you very much for your participation today. Thank you.
Elena.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.